Alright guys, so welcome back to Call of the Wild. So before we get into it today, I do want to say a couple of things. At the end of the previous episode, I said to you guys I was going to be live streaming, which we did, over on my Twitch. It was the first time that I've been in a live setting with you guys for about 2 years, which has blown my mind. And I've never actually been in a live setting with you guys to check out a new reserve, and that's exactly what we did. We went around everywhere, just taking a look at the lookout points, different areas on the map, you know, the animals and stuff, the behavior of them. I found some really cool spots, by the way, which we'll get into in another video. But I found some points of interest, and I'm almost positive they relate directly to the missions. And you guys know me, I love the history, I love all the weird stuff that they throw in there, and they sprinkle a little bit of magic with whatever the reserve has to offer. And we're going to do that today. I want to take a look at it because I hinted to it in the previous episode. Before we get into it, though, I do want to say a massive thank you to everybody that turned up in that live stream. It was a blast talking to you guys, and it was so much fun, and thank you so much for all the support. So, here we go. Reach the trailhead, objective complete. So what we got to do, this one is called the Poison Chalice. If you're not aware of what's going on this reserve, there is an issue with the water system. So I think that's what we're on the trail of now. We got to find out what's going on with it. We just had to deliver a bunch of bottles of water to a lookout, but it's something you guys have seen me do a million times. It's basically just getting people used to the mission system. So we've delivered bottles of water to a lookout point, and then it led us down here. So it says, pin up a flyer at the trailhead. So I'm guessing that we've got to put flyers around to warn people that the water isn't safe to drink. Which is kind of interesting because we are doing like park ranger stuff right now. We're actively being a warden, or what I would imagine you would do. So, want to go, what, this side? No, it's got to be this side, right?
One down, one to go. Keep following the trail to the lake.
I always like checking these out just in case, you know? Never know. Let's break out the camera just in case we can zoom in a little bit more. If there's like a note on here that says, Bigfoot spotted, you know I'm going to lose it. If anyone finds it, let me know. Also, there's been a couple of hints of kayaks on this reserve. Just saying.
Take a look at the water. If I hadn't told you, would you suspect that the lake was dangerous?
Nope. But with us putting those flyers up, it does kind of give us an inclination as to something's going on. So let's post another one of these, let people know I'll be drinking from that thing.
We might not be able to monitor the lake 24/7, but at least now people have been warned. Thanks for taking care of that. It's such a strange feeling to be publicizing the very issue that is hurting us at the moment. I know it's the responsible thing to do, but it still feels slightly like self-sabotage. Our summer season has already started, and normally this whole area would be covered with hikers. I've only seen a handful of people in the reserve recently. I'm sure that things will pick up eventually, but every day I'm reminded that my dad was the major driving force behind this place. It's just bad timing, I suppose. We'd had some other issues with one of the board members, but that's in the past. The best thing to do is to keep pushing forward. I've got some big plans to help turn things around. Who knows? Maybe we'll have this place at full strength by the time my dad gets back in the saddle. Let's change the subject, shall we? I've got a job that I'd like you to take care of. The big plans I mentioned before? One of these plans is a little passion project of mine. We're gonna need some gear. Repelling gear, actually. I have stashed a few bags at one of the nearby outposts, and I'd like you to head over there and pick them up, when you can. I've been doing adventure sports for about 10 years or so now. It started with bouldering and rock climbing while I was on a high school trip. Last year, I got an accreditation as an instructor, and I was planning on teaching classes. When my dad got ill, I put it on the back burner. But now, I think we have a good opportunity to commit to it. Unfortunately, I'm a little too busy to teach classes just now. But one of my base jumping friends, Sammy, took the same course as me, so she's gonna lead the class instead.
Okay, so I like what they're setting up with this. There's some kind of tradition there. Obviously, he doesn't want the reserve to fail or anything to happen to it. And it seems like he's following in his dad's footsteps, who is currently really ill right now. So I think we're going to be just going through the motions just to help recover the reserve as much as we possibly can. I like that. Okay, so male 56.2, fur type common, level 4. We got ourselves a gold. All 6 across the board. Where did we hit it? Okay, nice. So I did just nick the heart. So we got to go to an outpost. I believe pick up some things. So we can go rock climbing or rappelling down into something. It sounds terrifying. I would actually do this in real life, but... I mean, it all depends on the circumstance. If it's a massive cave system, especially if it's filled with water and stuff, I'd definitely not do this, so... I don't know if I'm going to freak out with it even being in a game setting. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so one of the things that I learned from being with you guys on the live stream, while we were just walking around, there would be random turkeys that would just jump up and fly away from us, and we had no idea they were even there. So, that kind of goes hand in hand with me telling you guys what I've got today. Slot number 1, obviously the Martinson, which you saw me use just a second ago. Slot number 2, though, is something we had a little bit of a play around with, and we got really good results from it, or at least... kind of by accident. I wanted to test it a little bit more today, and that's the 20 gauge with birdshot. So we're going to see how that works. It did work pretty good, but I was using the Strecker. Today I'm using the, I always forget the name of it. It begins with N. Let's see what it's called. Don't want to get it wrong. The Nordin, that's what it's called. It's the Artisan version as well. Or it's the Artisan Nordin. I forget which round it is, because I really rarely ever use the shotguns. I'm going to try and make an effort to use them more, because it is fun mixing it up with different weapons, especially ones you're not really used to.
The gear is in here. I packed it into a couple of backpacks. It shouldn't be too heavy.
Okay, so this little thing was hidden. Nice. Another little outpost. May as well claim it. I'm actually interested to see if there's any animations while we're repelling, or if it just kind of, you know, switches it. I can't imagine they would add the animations and stuff, but, you know, you can paint the picture in your mind of what's going on. I'm sure the sound effects and stuff will be there, so... Okay, here we go. We've got a couple of backpacks, buckets, some helmets, some rope, and I think these are called carabiners.
You got everything? There's a good rock face nearby that Sammy can use to teach her beginners.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, you also have some mountain climbing experience. I get it. Those mountain goats aren't easy to catch. There's some good anchoring points at the top of the rock face. If you can get those ropes nice and secure, it'll save Sammy some time and help the class.
Okay, nice. I do want to show you guys the goats as well. We did come across the mountain goats. They are absolutely jacked. I had no idea they look so swole. Literally like in real life as well. I've seen plenty of mountain goats. I've actually seen them in real life too, but these type, I don't know if it's just specific to these mountain goats at this part of the world. They're massive. Like the necks on them. I can't really explain it, but there's like, you know, bodybuilders when they have those massive necks? That's what it reminds me of. They're Dwayne Johnson goats. That's what they are. Right, let's go get to where we need. Oh, it's over that way.
Truth be told, I've wanted to start an extreme sports group here for a long time, but the old chairman of the board pushed back against anything that wasn't hunting. He was very old-fashioned, though. The patriarch of the Simpkins Electronics Empire. He even forced his vegan animal rights activist son, Timothy, to come with him on hunting trips to Africa. Accused the activist of brainwashing his son. Simpkins actually used his power on the board to keep my dad quiet. But the next time my dad caught Tim in the reserve, he wasn't just dealing drugs. He had been poaching. Dad called it in without even telling Simpkins Sr. Of course, he was furious. Tried to get my dad fired, actually. But all credit to the board. They stuck with my old man. All these changes I want to make will hopefully account for the loss of the Simpkins' money and influence. This is just a start, too. I'm proposing snowboarding and extreme skiing for the winter. I've got some friends who I'd love to invite over to shoot some videos. Could be fun, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, if the repelling goes well and makes a little money, I think the old folks on the board will start to come around.
Don't know if you guys actually recognize this, but in the previous episode, we came across one, and I thought it was going to be a lookout point for the missions, but it turns out it's for repelling, abseiling, rock climbing, or whatever it is that they've got planned to do here. I do want to know, though, based on what he's just said, if that is real. It's a really, really good idea, in my opinion, as long as you can do it in a safe way and it's not, like, going to stress any of the animals out. Is it possible to have, like, skiing, snowboarding, like some kind of extreme sports, or just like, you know, abseiling, mountain climber stuff? I don't know if that is included in it. But is that a real thing in a reserve at any part of the world that you can do that? Because surely if people are paying to do that, won't that promote the health of the animals and stuff, looking after the reserves that they're in? I don't know, it just feels like a really good idea. And if it is the case, I'd love to know about it, so let me know in the comments. Alright, what we gotta do? We gotta secure the ropes. So,
That looks
correct.
great. I doubt I could have done a better job myself. Don't let the ropes down. We don't need them getting all tangled up. I really appreciate your help with this one. It's been an uphill battle to get to this point, and I'm disappointed that I can't be there to run the classes myself. It's not just gold and silver mining that took place out here. Even more recently, there was a working uranium mine in the area.
Ooh.
When the reserve was established, we took responsibility for keeping it safe. Anyway, the old uranium mine is very rarely a problem. But recently, it appears that one of our neighbors, a guy I went to school with actually, has been spotted camping out around the mine. His name's Bobby Joe Jefferson. He's normally just a nuisance, driving his quad bike around and setting up little shooting ranges with tin cans. He makes the deer and turkeys extra skittish, so the hunters hate him. Can you head over to the mine and see what's going on? He's allowed to hike and camp there, but I don't want him going anywhere near the entrance itself.
Okay, so it says, travel to the uranium mine, and from what he said, there's somebody called Bobby Joe Jefferson. I want to know who comes up with the names, but Bobby Joe has been causing trouble in the reserve. He's basically being a nuisance. So I think we're going to either tell him to move on, or something to the effect of we're going to find a camp of where he's just basically left the place as like a pigsty. I still really want to know, I'm really interested to know if there are reserves with like sports and stuff. Maybe it's segregated into two halves. One side of it is open to the public and you can pay, get in, and it kind of funds the necessities of the reserve, like, you know, looking after it, paying for people to make sure the animals are safe and stuff. All right, what we got down there? Is it just on this section or is it not? It's further down behind it. All right. What's this? Interact.
A trail camera? I've used these for work and for hunting before. This one shouldn't be here, though. We don't want hunters so close to the mine. Grab the camera.
So I will let you guys know, while we were on stream, we were talking about trail cams being added to the game. And it's kind of crazy that we've just come across that now. I would like to know what you guys think about trail cams being added to Call of the Wild. It is something that me and Taco have spoken about before while we were just, you know, talking about our usual stuff. I think adding them to the game, I don't see any problem with it. As long as it's not like an unfair advantage in any way. I mean, just seeing like pictures of the animals, if you just leave them in certain areas and you go back and check them, if you get in-game screenshots, then the animals investigating them and stuff, I think it'd be fantastic, but I don't know. I don't know how the mechanics would work, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This looks creepy as hell.
This looks intact, at least. That's gotta be a good sign.
What was that? Oh no, no, not going in there. I should say as well, oh, there's a trail cam on the right, look. I should say, while I was playing this and it turned to nighttime, I heard bats. Which you guys can do that too. All you gotta do, either turn it to nighttime or wait till it turns dark and you can hear them messing around in the trees. It's so freaky.
Another trail camera. Bobby Joe doesn't have a permit to hunt here. Is he poaching?
What are you doing, Bobby Joe? Okay, investigate Bobby Joe's campsite. Alright, Bobby Joe. What do you got for us? Got a diary left in there? Telling us what you've been up to?
Rifle cartridges. That's not good news.
Mosin rounds. So he's got a Solikin with him. Okay, so Bobby Joe's diary, and it says Thursday, 23:25. Definitely more signs of activity around the disused uranium mine. Footprints and some superficial damage to the mine entrance. Saturday at 1:40. Decided to camp out by the mine, and there's been no activity tonight. Going to stay up until dawn, and I will sleep until lunchtime. Sunday at 12:15. A truck just drove most of the way in towards the mine. It's black with tinted windows. If I had to guess, the government are sending agents out to retrieve resources from the mine. Two guys got out and tried the entrance. They had knives, but no real equipment for getting in. Were they testing the door to make sure nobody could get in, or are they worried about something getting out? I couldn't see if they were armed, but if they're part of something big, they're almost certainly going to have pistols. Sunday 6:45. Followed the truck to the edge of the Silver Ridge Peaks, but I'm low on fuel and I have to get back to camp. Is Alan Bradley aware of this? Is he in on this? I'm going to need allies if we bring the conspiracy to light, but first I need fuel and some breakfast. Sunday at 6:15. If the government have kept the uranium mine going in secret, what else could they be hiding down there? I'm not leaving Silver Ridge Peaks until I find out.
I never credited Bobby Joe with this much imagination in high school. Replant the sign, and we're done here for now. You know what makes this extra weird? He actually has done some detective work. Enough to convince himself to camp here.
I'm interested. I don't know what's down in that mine or what's going on, but there's some kind of cover-up going on. All right, let's find out what we're going to do then. I love stuff like this. You can tell. I'm all for these weird stories. Replant the sign. So what I will let you guys know, when I picked the diary up, I think I actually picked up part of the actual sign for the area as well, or the sign for the mine, and I've got to go and repost it. So that's what we're going to do next. Also, there was a crap ton of animals in this area. I had to cut away for a second because of the noise that the Rocky Mountain elk were making.
It would appear that it's not just the neighbors that are making questionable calls today. Sometimes folks from the city will drive out here to get away from work or their personal lives or whatever happens to be bothering them. The problem is that sometimes, quite often actually, people wander into the wilderness without a clue of how to survive if things go wrong. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. And based on a couple of phone calls I've had from the hospital today, I think that someone has made a mess and could use some help. Can you head over to the campgrounds nearby and check in on them? The phone calls were sporadic at best. As far as I can tell, this professional yoga and meditation expert has led a group of accountants from Denver into the wilderness on some sort of spiritual retreat. She took their cell phones away from them and had them eating wild flowers and berries. Some of them got sick and have gone directly to the hospital. I know that we're not the reason why this happened, but it could look very bad for us if anyone gets seriously hurt.
Okay, 150 out. What is it we got to look for? Check in with visitors at the camping grounds. Oh yeah, that's right. There was some kind of meditation expert that brought people along. What was that? Oh. That brought people along on a wildlife trek, and they've been eating birdseed, berries, and bear shit, and they wonder why they've gotten sick. But that actually does raise an important point. I've said it before in other videos. I've read so many stories of people that just weren't prepared to tackle the wild, and they thought it was literally a cakewalk. And they'd throw up tents just like this, and it just went south really, really quick, which is probably what's going to be happening now.
That's weird. I expected a lot more activity here. They said they were bringing 20 people. Where is everyone?
Oh, we got a note over there.
Is the leader in her tent? She goes by Jem. Jem Bodden.
Wait, Barden?
Can you hear the phones ringing? I guess we know where she hid them then.
So the first one says, note left for Barden. Jem, we are going back to Denver. We've left you some food. Please call the warden when you find this so we can take care of you. You shouldn't be out here alone, but we're all too sick to go looking for you. Please bring our phones back to the office ASAP. Patrice. Okay, what was this one? This is the one that I couldn't read. I'm sorry that we had this disagreement. To remedy things, I'm going to lead our next yoga session at the top of the mountain that we spoke about yesterday. Make sure you bring the map with the markings. Once you get back, grab your yoga mat and join me. I'll be meditating. Jem. Okay, so that's why he said somebody's just wandered off into the mountains. So, I guess we gotta go looking for him. Oh yeah, we got it. We got ourselves a gold. So it was a male, 8.16 kilograms. Plumage was common. And I can't remember if I got something similar to this yesterday. I might have got a 4.30 trophy rating. I'm actually really liking the turkeys. I know what you're going to say, guys. I know what's going to be said. I'm already having fun with the turkeys, and I said in that video, I hold my hands up and say it, I didn't want them. I said it multiple times on stream. I was like, yep, I'm not really bothered about the turkeys. And as soon as I started playing, and I saw them with that derpy flying motion and stuff, it's actually one of the most fun I've had with an animal in Call of the Wild for a long, long time. So, yep, I hold my hands up and say, it's a good addition. I'm enjoying them, and I hope it does continue. All right, so we're not too far out. And I'm hoping that you guys have gathered what we got to do now. We got to go and see somebody called Ted, who is, by the sounds of it, or I think by the sounds of it, is going to be some kind of expert with the bears. He doesn't have a gun or anything, so he sounds like a bit of a badass. So I'm going to jump back on the ATV and get over there.
That's the place. You found where the hikers spotted him. That's good news. Listen, I got a hold of Norman and he's on his way out here. But he's a couple of hours drive away. I told him that we were looking for his dad. Norman's really worried. He thinks that Ted has had a breakdown. Ted's wife, Jeannie, died a couple of weeks ago, and since the funeral, Ted hasn't been himself. The family were giving him as much space as they could, but now they're worried that he's fully isolated himself and he's made some bad decisions that have led him here. It might be a long shot, but can you gear up with whatever you need and head into bear country as soon as possible? If Ted's looking for where he proposed almost a half a century ago, I just hope he finds it before the bears find him. I'll mark the beauty spot on your GPS. Be careful in those parts. Keep your rifle handy at all times.
Okay, so we got to gear up and hopefully find Ted, because by the sounds of it, there's going to be bears everywhere and he's not armed. So let's see if we can find him. We know mountain lions are in the area. I've just come off the side of that hill from the ATV. That's where we've got to get to. I do want to read these because I always love getting them and picking up a little bit of history about the reserve. But I've just seen there's a collapsed tent. The Southern Rockies are dotted with geothermal sulfur hot springs. These were used by the Ute tribe for medicinal purposes. And when European colonists arrived, their presence, in combination with the snow-capped peaks and glacial lakes, led them to dub the region the Switzerland of America.
This is the beauty spot. But he's gone. There's no sign of an encounter. But look, Ted was definitely here.
Oh, there we go. What have we found?
Ted and Jeannie, 1978. I can't even imagine what's going through his head at the moment. My dad and I used to talk about men who would seek their solace in nature. He told me that if he didn't have my mom or me around, he'd eventually have just started living out here. I didn't believe him at first, but as I've grown older, it makes more sense to me. He's running from the pain he's feeling. Out there, he doesn't need to think about anyone or anything else. He can just be alone. Norman will be here soon. I told him that his visit will include a trip to bear country, so he's got a rifle to protect himself. I'll point him to his dad's old camp for now. It makes most sense for that to be where Ted will come back to whenever he's ready. There's no tracks for you to follow, and while I don't like the idea of him wandering around, Ted clearly wants to be alone out here.
Okay, so while we were doing that mission then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the terrain looked like it was lopsided. That's just something that's been a part of the ATV since they've been released. And basically the way you fix it is you just find a flat piece of terrain like this. Make sure you sit back on the ATV and then jump off it again. And everything should be fixed. So you should be able to tell a difference from what you saw a second ago. I'm hearing rustling over there as well. You guys hear that? We did just pick up another mission, but I want to know if there's something over here. Okay, whatever it was hasn't made that noise again. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, it was a turkey. It's up there now. Okay, I'm actually glad that something did make a noise, because for a second I thought I was going insane. I could hear it over this side and I can hear it over that side too. Just a quick tip from me as well on the turkeys. When you guys get your hands on this reserve, something to keep in mind is that while I've been trying to bring them in, or even just trying to get a response from them, this one that I've got in my hand called the crow caller is way more effective, at least for me, than the mouth caller is. I don't know if I'm doing something different with the mouth caller or not doing something that I'm supposed to be, but with the crow caller, I'm definitely getting a response at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 times when I try. I'll see if I can show you guys. So we'll do one call there. I don't know how far its effective range is. Let's actually take a look at that. So the crow caller, range is 500 meters, so we should be getting it. There's no way that's further than 500. But the attraction strength on this one is 55, and the mouth one is 40, and I think that's actually showing. Because whenever I'm trying to use it, like I say, I generally get a response back. And now that I'm trying to show you guys, it's not going to happen, is it? Okay, thanks, Call of the Wild. We'll do a couple more, see if it does respond. There we go. We finally got a response. Oh, wait, is it flying? I thought I saw something go up into the tree. We've got a male. We've got a good wind, too. I might actually try and get that thing in. While I was waiting, though, to see if I could get a response, it took forever to actually find out what that was. We did have a mission that popped up, and I was just about to read it to you guys. It says, Sammy thinks that she heard a woman scream coming from the woods. It's possible that it was Barden, and we really need to track her down before she hurts herself. Can you follow this up? So, looks like we're going on a rescue mission, but I think we are going to leave that for next time. Let's see if we can flush this thing out. There we go. Thought he was going to get away from us. I was rummaging around in the bush and he was behind us, unless that was a different one. Actually, yeah, there might be another one. Let's reload up. Male, 9.16 kilograms. Common, combined, gold, and 4.3. Okay, I think this is actually the highest one that I've got so far. I'll tell you guys something interesting as well. I don't know if I'm going to make myself sound really stupid with this, but people in the live stream were helping me out because I really wanted to know what that thing was called. And I mean, it's so weird that it's just one of those things that you want to know. Apparently, it's called a wattle. Or a waddle or something like that. I don't know which way you say it round, but I think it's called a wattle. And it's something that the females actually don't have on the front of it as well, which is kind of interesting. I like weird stuff like that, but yeah. Managed to get ourselves another turkey for the day, and we are going to be picking the missions up in the next episode as well. So if you are enjoying them, guys, as always, please drop a like below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.